Hey guys, it's Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And that includes my very special guest today, Victor, who actually made a career transition from coding, which he did not enjoy, into digital marketing, which he loves. So I'm very excited. This is a unique story on the channel. I'm very excited to talk with Victor. Victor, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Seth.
You are welcome. So let's start what I always do. Tell me what you're doing now, and a little bit about your job, and then we'll walk people through the process of how you got here.
hmm So currently I'm a paid search specialist at a company here in Chicago, UTech, and we manage a variety of clients in a multitude of industries from CBD to local businesses and so on. We don't really have a set niche we work with. We do everything under the sun around digital marketing.
Great. And what are you making, and how much ad spend are you managing?
So currently I'm making 50K and I'm managing a little over $50,000 in ad spend. I would like to know at the moment, since I honestly just started, I will be handling more accounts. So the ad spend should go up within the next month or two.
Awesome. And when you say you just started, you mean you just started this position, but you made the transition. So we'll explain to people how you got where you are now. So your situation is a little unique because you were already working in coding. Not you, as you explained to me, you weren't exactly doing coding per se, but you're doing a lot of code related tasks at your job, SQL and Java and things like that. So you already had a career in coding. You said you were making about 60,000 a year, but a couple of years ago you got in touch with me interested in digital marketing. Why did you want to transition out of coding and into digital marketing? Especially after, making what, a lot of people aspire to, which is making $60,000 a year out of, after getting out of college.
Yeah, so honestly, for me, the job just wasn't fulfilling. Like I was doing the same monotonous task, and I really, it didn't, how should I say, like the passion wasn't there, or like from what I learned in college to the job that I got into, it just didn't align with my expectations. And I was trying to look for another way out, and that's honestly kind of how I stumbled across your course. Was I stumbled upon Matt Tran's channel, and I was looking for career advice and like where I can pivot and like how I can get another job and or a different position in my field, and it just didn't seem viable. And as I was going down the YouTube rabbit hole, as I'm sure everyone else has said, I stumbled upon your course, and that's where I started going through all the testimonials. I literally went through all of them. I would say even some I watched back as I was just like, is this, I was kind of skeptical at first. But as I started thinking these things over, and I just started doing the research as you demonstrated with, just the job opportunities on LinkedIn, it seemed viable and it seemed like a good opportunity. So I went all in with it, honestly.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember you guys I'll put a screenshot here. I like the message you sent me in 2019 when you got your first job. You're very enthusiastic from the moment you contacted me. So let's talk about, so you took the course and you got your first job in 2019, and you took a pretty big pay cut going from your coding job. I keep using quotes because you told me just to clarify what you said, I mean, it sounded like you weren't even actually coding using any type of you were doing just a lot of importing and exporting of data, which sounded very, very boring, just to add to what you said. But so you got your first job in January of 2019, and tell me a little bit about that position and what you're getting paid.
Yeah, so at that time, just to bring everyone up to speed, like on my story, I'm originally from Chicago, but I moved to San Diego, and that's where I initially started my career in digital marketing was in San Diego. So with that move, it was honestly a spontaneous move. You know, I've always wanted to live in San Diego, and I've heard a lot of great things about the prestigious marketing agencies down there. And I found it a good opportunity to go in and pursue that full time. So with that being said, I started at a presentation design agency, and the account I managed was an in-house role. So I was managing around roughly 50K in ad spend, and that was spread out across Google Ads, Bing Ads, and Facebook Ads as well.
And how much are you getting paid?
I was good. I initially started at 15 an hour, and from there I worked up to about 18 an hour, I would say. Yeah, but that was salary. I transitioned to the salary, but you know, doing the hourly rate, it was roughly around 18 an hour.
Got it. Now, how did you feel going from, you know, this higher paying coding job to this lower paying entry level digital marketing position? How did you feel?
Honestly, it didn't cross my mind. Like, to me, it was fine, but you know, on the surface level, it seemed crazy, especially like to my family, my friends. They're like, wow, like what is this new thing you're doing that like you decided to quit your job, do Uber and Lyft, and you know, just pick up some side money within that time frame and then get a job in marketing, which you wanted so bad. But I think it just goes to show, like, if you have the mindset and determination and you know what's on the other side, you will get there and you will accomplish your goal. And a lot of the things you did mention in the course, they're very true. And it it showed when I was experiencing it, you know, like firsthand. So like as things were happening and, you know, I was going through building my experience and building my resume and getting these interviews, a lot of the things you touched on were like spot on, like what was happening. I'm like, wow, Seth he said this in the course, this would happen, and it happened. So, you know, as I took the course, I just ran with your advice. And as I started seeing success, it was just like, I knew it, like my intuition was right. And yeah, I greatly appreciate it because you shine light on that path for me. And I I couldn't have been where I'm at now, you know, if it wasn't for that. And so thank you.
You're welcome. Can you think of a specific example of what you were just talking about? You can take a moment. You don't have to rush it.
Um,
I'm
yeah,
just,
because it was a while back. Like when I first started, I used the resume template and I just aligned it to like my current experience, and I was very transparent. But I was receiving a lot of phone calls, and honestly, that's what got me to continue pushing through, because literally within the first week of me sending out my first resume, I was getting calls back. I was literally having phone interviews like right off the bat. So that's where the light bulb went off, and I'm like, wow, I should keep doing that. And within that time frame, I probably had like, I sent out a little over like 100 resumes, and I had probably like 30 something like phone interviews and like 3 in-person interviews. So I was getting closer to, to me, I was like, I'm there, it's just a matter of time before, I connect with the right company that feels like, we'd be a great fit. So,
that's
um,
great.
yeah, I
That's
lost my
pretty
train of thought.
remarkable,
Yeah.
guys. To send out 100 resumes and get 30 interviews is like unheard of. And also, although I do recommend, with my students, I say don't bulk apply, no matter how passionate you are. If you send out 100 resumes in a week, you're doing something. I would have told you to slow down. But you got, that in and of itself is a huge accomplishment, especially having no experience in a field. So, and I think it's pretty, I've been focusing on the cash a lot in these other interviews, but I really like your story because you were just so focused on the fulfillment of the job. You're like, I don't care. And I do get messages like that from some people who are already in a career. Most people are just starting out, but whether you're just starting out or in the middle of your career, if you're just thinking about the money, like a lot of people who get into engineering or coding do, you may find yourself very unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
it happens. Like you think I made it because, oh, I'm making 60K, I'm making 100K. And then you're like, I don't like this. And that actually, happens to a lot of people. So now you're much happier. So what happened, let's just get real about what the process when you got, you had this entry level job, and then, did you level up from there, from your $15 to your $18? What happened next?
Yeah, so within that time frame, well, I got the pay bump pretty fast, honestly, or I guess within like a 90-day window, like it happened pretty fast because it was showing like my skills I should say my skill set was showing within the first, few months. I was able to pivot the ad spend from Google, which we were spilling money on at that time. Because that was like our main revenue source. I was able to pivot that like in other avenues, and that's where I was able to learn Facebook ads. So I was building all these skill sets, and you added the Facebook at that time. There wasn't a Facebook ads module, so I'm sure the students love that portion that you have on there right now. But yeah, that was another, like I picked up so many skills that I was able to transition into my next job pretty smoothly, honestly. But during that time of my pay bump, I was able to pick up a client. And throughout my time, like I've had kind of testimonials and clients like in the past, but they were all like through like nonprofits and like helping friends out. So that's initially how I built my resume. But yeah, I stumbled upon like a friend that his company, they needed assistance and their digital marketing presence. So they white label my services as a PPC consultant and a tag management. So I was able to pick up a client along the way, and that's where I was picking up, a little extra cash on the side. So
How much were you this client?
I was making, well, at that time it was pretty busy. So I was pulling in about 1,000 an hour, or excuse me, 1,000 a month. Yeah. From that client.
That's great. I don't know. The connection kind of went down for a second. You said you're making 1,000 a month from this client on top of your job, which is what I also recommend to my students. And a lot of my students do, is when you have this skill set that allows you so many different options. So you can say, most people they're just hooked up to their salary or their hourly wage, and they don't have any time for anything else. But with digital marketing, you have this ability to pick up freelance clients, work on your own schedule. And that's how a lot of my students really supplement their income. But then you said your next job. So what was your next job after this first job?
That's the role I'm currently in now. So as everyone knows, we have this.
Wait, hold on. No, I thought this was the first agency where you're getting paid 18 an hour. Didn't you change?
Yeah. So no, like I was actually furloughed from that role, and I had to move back to Chicago, and then I landed my current role. So there was like a 4-month time period where I wasn't working, and that's where I landed the current role I'm in now. Okay.
So you were working there, building a lot of experience for a while, for about a year, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had this happened around January, March is when the pandemic hit, flared up, and then you changed over to this new position. So, and what was it like? I think you contacted me. I think like a lot of people, this is another thing. Like I see when people lose their jobs or get furloughed, people take an emotional hit. Personally, a little bit about me, guys. I've been fired. I have quit so many jobs that when I was still working jobs, it didn't faze me at all. In fact, I worked at an agency in 2013, and they dissolved the whole department I was in because of a merger, and everyone got fired. And I was laughing my ass off because I just thought, this is, I had all these coworkers, and all I knew is I said, these people are all they're younger than me. They're all going to do great. They're all going to get better jobs, but they were so devastated. If you've lost your job or you've been furloughed, especially during a time like this when it's happening to so many people, don't take it personally. and don't take it as a personal failure of some kind. So like when you message me or some people message me, I can just, I don't know. I can kind of sense people are like a little disoriented or they're not feeling as confident or like, oh gosh, what's going to happen next? I'm like, guys, this is the best time to be seeking new opportunities. Don't make it mean anything about yourself, especially if you have digital marketing skills. So anyway, I remember you messaging me during that time, and I'm glad that you pushed through and got your next position. So tell me about getting this new position that you're in now.
It was around like my birthday during the summer, and I just simply did like it was the quick apply feature on LinkedIn. I was still like looking and like saving jobs, like if I need to apply and whatnot. So that's where I came across the company I'm at, UTech, and I just simply did submitted my resume through LinkedIn. They got back to me pretty fast, and the CEO reached out to me and via DM on LinkedIn, and they said if I was interested, we could schedule a call first thing Monday. So I did. And Monday I was able to land the job on the spot and start the next week.
That's fantastic. What was I going to say? So, and now just like, let's just give people a perspective. You're making, as you said, about 50K plus with your, you have your freelance clients. And you said, so you're at about what, 55K, or what, are you back? You're back around where you were?
Yeah, I'm pretty much back at 60K. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but how is your quality of life and how do you feel at your job compared to where you were working when you started this?
It's totally different, honestly, like in a good way, in a positive way. So like the company I was at before, everyone was there for, X amount of years. They had like seniority. They're like senior, software specialists. And I was like the youngest one there. So I felt a little out of place because I was like with a lot of older people. But as I transitioned to digital marketing, it's just been nothing but like great work environments, honestly, and like-minded people like me, and fairly like we're all within the same age range, which is nice. You can relate to your coworkers, and it's been fun. Like we have we have we have a ping pong table and like a beanbag. Like we have like these activities that we do pretty often, and we all connect pretty well. So I would say it's my quality of life, like at work, has been great, and outside. Yeah, nothing but great things, honestly.
Tell me more, and age aside, although I've been in like, it's not necessarily age, because I've been in in office environments where everything's just very stiff, and
Mm-hmm.
it does make going to work like not very fun. But is that like, but you're actually, I mean, you're working 8 hours a day on digital marketing. So just what is it like working for, full time on digital marketing versus working full time at your previous, job in terms of the work?
I would say overall it's a lot more exciting, and I think it's just the fact that you have immediate impact on a business, like on their growth and like how they operate from a business standpoint, where I wasn't really seeing that too much like with the software implementation. Like we implemented the product, but it was pretty boring. Like you said, it was like literally downloading and uploading and making edits to the software. But I would say this is a lot more exciting, just dealing with the numbers, and like you see like instantaneously, you know, the work that you put in as you launch a campaign, and that excites me like every day. Like there's not a time that goes by where I'm like, okay, like I'm having an impact on not only my company but our clients. I look forward to work every day, because like I know there's something new and exciting, as I wake up and I get ready for work. So
I'm really happy I was able to help you make this career transition. You're obviously much happier. And, I think you're just at the very, very beginning. I'm glad you were able to find another job so quickly during the pandemic, and that you look forward to going to work every day, which is really what is the most important thing. There's no point in going to a $60,000 a year job if you can't stand it. You'll be miserable. So, do you have any final words of advice or anything you want to say to anybody watching the interview?
Yeah, I would say for those of you that are on the fence, I would go through all the testimonials like I did. Just go through it and, think it through. Don't think it through too much. Like literally listen to everything other people have to say within those testimonials because they're all true. I've been through the course, and if you're skeptical or on the fence, I highly recommend you check out Seth's course because it's the truth, honestly, and it's guided me and so many others in the right path, and it's made us a lot happier. So, again, thank you, Seth.
You're welcome, Victor. Thanks so much. I'm really happy that I'm happy that you're happy. I'm glad we're talking about that,
Yeah.
and that you're like I said, I think it's great. I'm glad you were able to make that transition. So anyway, let's stay in touch. Thanks for being here, and thanks to you guys for watching the interview. And we will see you very soon with another success story.